Huskie Nation, welcome into our first episode of NIU Basketball Weekly. I'm Andy Garcia. Glad you could join us, and I'm really looking forward to the next 7 episodes. The first of 7 of talking to NIU basketball. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk to head coaches, both men's and women's basketball. We're also going to talk to some of the players, also talk to some of the other head coaches that are in the spring sports, which includes volleyball and soccer. So it's going to be a fun winter/spring of NIU Basketball Weekly. This week, we're going to talk with Huskies head women's basketball coach Lisa Carlsen. Fantastic win against Central Michigan on Wednesday night. They have a 3-game winning streak, getting ready for Miami on Saturday. And also going to talk to Trendon Hankerson, the junior from Novi, Michigan, and NIU men's basketball team. They're coming off a nice win at home as they got the win last seconds against Akron, and they've been playing better as of late. And then we're going to talk volleyball. Head coach Ray Gooden is going to join us, the elder statesman of head coaches at NIU. Volleyball starts on January 22nd. A lot of people have been waiting a long time, including Coach Gooden. So we're looking forward to volleyball. So we've got an action-packed show. And first things first, let's bring in the Huskies head women's basketball coach, Lisa Carlsen, on NIU Basketball Weekly. Coach, welcome into the show, and congratulations. 3-game winning streak. Wednesday night against Central Michigan was just a lot of fun, but your team is playing with a lot of momentum. You guys have a lot of confidence, and it's showing in this 3-game winning streak.
Yeah, obviously we're off to a good start in 2021, and for a lot of different reasons. You know, we could talk about different player performances, but probably the biggest thing is I think this group really understands how to play together. They've accepted their roles, they've excelled in their roles, and it has obviously given us some early success.
And it's not just been the starters that we've talked about a lot, but the bench as well. And they know their role, and they're coming in and they're producing.
Well, we're just playing with a lot of confidence right now. And I think, again, that's throughout our roster. Everybody kind of has a unique skill set, and they know what they can bring to the table. And they've been doing a great job of doing that when asked to when they step on the floor.
3-game winning streak, Western Michigan, Bowling Green, and then Central Michigan. Let's go back to Wednesday night. And when you guys beat Central Michigan, I was on the radio. I was laughing at some points because you guys were making everything. And it wasn't tough shots, Coach. Some of them were, but a lot of them were just wide open looks, and it was good passing and your team knocking down the shots.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have those games where you feel like everything is going right. And like you mentioned, it was synergy really on the offensive end. People creating opportunities for their teammates, passing the ball, getting on the offensive glass. Really all things were working throughout that game.
And defensively too, getting stops and rebounding. You guys have done such a great job rebounding the basketball. It just seems like that's contagious as well, not just the shooting, but everyone, all 5 players getting in there and rebounding the ball.
For sure. And I think, you know, I've been really proud of the growth that we've had defensively, both individually and then as a unit. I think, you know, you mentioned it, that can be a very contagious thing as well. You know, this is a team that does take pride in getting stops. And I think when we're able to do that, obviously that fuels our offense in a lot of different ways. But we've done a really nice job, and Coach Alexis and Coach Jane have done a great job of really continuing to move our defense forward as well.
You know, at the start of the year, you talked about Shelby Coker, sophomore, that she can average 20 points, that she would need to average 20 points. We've seen that so far. She's not only scored, but she's also rebounded and had assists. What have you seen from Shelby, maybe from the summer to where we are right now?
Well, Shelby's put in a lot of work. You know, she was ready to really step into more of a leadership role on the court, understanding that we needed her to be our ball-dominant guard. And like you mentioned, she showed last year at times that she could really score the basketball. But what you see from her this year, in addition to that, is really her ability to get her teammates shots. And as far as rebounding, you know, someone of Shelby's stature you wouldn't look at as a real prolific rebounder. She has a great nose for the basketball, and she can go get it. So all of those things are so critical to what we're trying to do.
Shooters like Paulina Castro, Grace Hunter, John A. Poison have also brought depth, but also shooting. And we saw what Grace Hunter did earlier against Eastern Illinois in the season, 18 points. And we saw a little bit of what she can do last time out against Central Michigan. But those players, including others, if they have open looks, they have the confidence right now making shots.
Yeah, they really do. Shooting is such a confidence thing. And if you see a couple go in, the basket gets that much bigger and you just can't wait for your next opportunity. And I think all three of those players right now are shooting the ball definitely with a lot of confidence.
We talk a lot about the outside shooting, but the low post threat, when you have an Asia Davis and now Michaela Brandon, who's also stepped up her game. Asia Davis with a nice double-double last time out against Central Michigan. Michaela Brandon coming off a career high 18 points, and she came into Wednesday night's game fourth in the MAC in rebounding. What is that inside presence giving your team?
Well, we talk about Michaela's productivity on the court, and she can impact the game in a lot of different ways. Obviously, when she's scoring the basketball, that's a huge plus for us. But she's kind of the glue to our defense sometimes. She does a great job of communicating, understanding not just where she's supposed to be, but where everybody's supposed to be. And then she, again, just has a great knack for finding the basketball, great rebounder. You mentioned Asia. All of those players have really taken the next step, I think, in the evolution of their progression as Huskies. Some of them young, some of them that maybe haven't played as much in the last few years because of injury or whatever, but everybody has really taken that next step in order to be effective in what they do well.
We go day by day, sometimes hour by hour about this schedule. And we saw that one game has been postponed with Kent State. But how do you feel your team has done so far with the testing and the stopping at some points and the pauses, but continuing and moving forward and where you guys are now with the winning streak? How has your team done so far with all the COVID situations?
Well, obviously, it's something you get used to, positively or negatively. It is the world we live in right now. And so I think this team has really understood that and has accepted the fact that we can only control so many things. So we'll go about our business, do everything we can to control it. And then there will be situations that we can't control. But they've been doing a great job of understanding that since the summer and since we got back on campus. So now it's just something that we do. But you're right, Andy. Obviously, every time we get a chance to step on the floor and play, we feel like that's a huge bonus and a blessing for us.
I wanted to also talk about the players that are new to the roster this year. Jaden Marable, Emily Minert, just a couple of them. But Jaden Marable coming off the bench and being that point guard when Shelby Coker maybe needs a breather. But Jaden coming in and just adding the minutes as of late and not turning the ball over, scoring, and really doing a fine job, not just offensively, but defensively as well.
Jaden's growth has been exponential especially the last few weeks. Her first opportunity to really step on the floor in a significant situation at Michigan State, I believe, you could just see the confidence grow in her. She's a very cerebral player, so she understands when given instruction and adjustments that need to be made. She's able to process that quickly and do that on the floor. And it's just been so great to see how much growth we've seen from her. And in key situations, like you mentioned, not just to give Shelby a breather, but on those occasions where Shelby may be in foul trouble, knowing that we have Jaden to come in and continue to run things and hopefully not skip a beat.
And Emily Minert, 15 points, 9 rebounds at Bowling Green and had another good game versus Central Michigan. It takes a little bit of time. You can come in and play at the junior college level or Jaden in high school, but to come in and be at the D1 level, it takes a little bit of time, right?
It does, and both of those players really want to be great, and so that's a huge factor too. They're good, great workers. Emily especially, she puts in the time. She wants to be an impact player, yet understands her role, and so she's always ready for her opportunity. And anytime you have a team like ours that has the depth that we have, sometimes those minutes are going to fluctuate. You just never know what's going to be asked of you on a night-to-night basis based on the minutes that you're going to get. But I feel like our bench has really kind of gravitated to that and understands how critical that is for them to be the best versions of themselves, regardless of the number of minutes that they play.
Being around your team a little bit and just everything your teams have to go through with the COVID, it seems like this is a tight-knit crew. It seems like everybody's on the same page, everyone gets along, and everyone kind of has the same goal moving forward.
Well, I think that's really important in any given year, but especially this one. I said from the beginning that I think this is one of the most unselfish teams I've ever coached. And I say that still. Obviously, statistically, you can see that and watch them share the basketball. But I feel the same way about them off the court. They really are on the same page when it comes to what we want to try to accomplish. And they understand that the only way to get that done is to do it together.
upcoming game starting on Saturday at Miami. They come in 0-6, and then on the road again on Wednesday at Ball State, coming off a win on Wednesday night. How would you scout both Miami and Ball State right now?
Well, what we've seen already in the MAC is that you can't look at records and think that that's indicative of the game that's going to be played. Whether Miami has yet to look for their first MAC win, or you have a team like Central Michigan that hadn't been beaten, I think every night or every day or every game in the MAC is just going to present itself as a unique challenge. And Miami will be no different. Ball State will be no different. Different styles of play, different challenges that present themselves, but overall, I think you have to continue to try and do what you do and do it to the best of your ability. My staff does a great job from a scouting standpoint. We'll be prepared, but every team in this league is very well aware of each other, and the scouting is definitely top-notch with the coaches that you have. So it's still a matter of going out for 40 minutes and executing the game plan.
What's the best part about coaching this team right now?
I really do love their unselfishness. You know, it's fun to watch them play basketball together and for them to share the basketball and for them to celebrate each other. You know, they're just as excited for someone plays at 2 minutes or somebody that plays 38. And I think that's genuine. I think you see that. I think you feel it. And they know that that has really been critical to the recent success that we've had.
You know, we don't have any fans in the stands right now in the Convocation Center. We got the cutouts, but we get the messages. We get the emails from the fans, really enjoying what they're seeing on the court. What's the message for the NIU fans right now from your program? We wish we were in the stands, but they are watching and listening, Coach.
Well, I think that's critical. You know, staying as connected as you can, obviously, even if it isn't in person, because someday we'll be able to be back together and be in person and watch this team compete. And so it means a lot to us for them to continue to stay engaged with what we're trying to do from a program standpoint, both on game day as well as those off days when we have some other things going on, because that engagement will be really critical as we do get back together.
Huskies try to make it 4 wins in a row on Saturday at Miami and then at Ball State later on the week at Ball State on Wednesday. Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck, and I'll see you in Miami.
All right. Thanks, Andy.
From women's basketball and head coach Lisa Carlsen to men's basketball, we bring in the junior guard for Novi, Michigan, Trendon Hankerson. He joins us now on NIU Basketball Weekly. Trendon, great to have you on. And again, congratulations on the recent success. Great win at home as you guys beat Akron on Tuesday night. And welcome into the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Let's talk about how you guys have played as of late. We've talked about it on both TV and radio, but it seems like you guys are playing just free and easy. And you can see that on the court as of late.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the guys have built a lot more confidence. Coach has kind of taken the pressure off our back offensively. He's allowed us to be a lot more free and stuff like that, and he harps a lot on defense still. So I just think offensively we found a better rhythm and a better flow, just moving the ball and getting paint touches and stuff like that. So it's been really good for us.
Trent, it seems like you guys have been moving the basketball. It seems like you've been able to get passing off to the teammates. You guys have been knocking down shots. It seems like that offense has been contagious and that you guys have confidence in each other right now.
Yeah, we put in a couple new plays and stuff like that. So just to get our off-the-ball movement a lot better since things have been going on. Our ball screens have gotten a lot better. We've been hitting the bigs more on the roll and feeding the post a lot more. So our offensive rhythm has been better.
Let's talk about the defense because that's what NIU hangs their hat on, rebounding and defense, and teams talk about it all the time. What's been the key to your defense and the key to you guys being able to rebound the basketball?
Well, our help side defense has been a lot better, and also our ball screen coverage has been a lot better. I would say that our transition still needs some work and stuff like that, but that's also one of our focus points as we head into the next game and the next few games. That's huge, not allowing teams to get out and transition on us.
You're averaging 12.4 points per game. Where do you see your game right now?
I think it's going well. I can knock down a lot more shots, maybe get to the free throw line more. But it's all just about staying aggressive still and just being a shooter, like you said, and taking those shots when they're there.
I mean, you led the MAC in three-point shooting last season. Is it just confidence trending? When you see one or two go down, you know you can start to feel it?
Yeah, for sure. That's what it's all about, especially when you're a shooter. Mostly just confidence and touch, and then just believing the next one's going to go in, no matter how many you miss.
we talk about some of the best guards in the MAC, and there's some good ones. And you've taken on some of the good guards already. And when we see them on offense, we usually see you on the best offensive player on the other team, knowing that you're one of the better defenders on this squad. Do you take pride when the team you're playing, you're going to take on their best offensive guy?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I take it as a challenge for sure, to try and lock the guy down, just to help my team win, because obviously we don't want the guys on the other team to be getting their average or above their average of points, because that's what's going to help them win if they score more points than us. So I take that definitely as a challenge, a huge challenge every game, just to try and step up and lock the guy down, no matter who it is.
I want to go back to Tuesday night and the win versus Akron, because it really was a team effort. And we've seen that in the last games where you guys have gotten more momentum. You're starting to feel it. But we saw 40 minutes of basketball on Tuesday night. What were the keys to getting that win versus the Zips?
For sure, turnovers. We kept our turnovers to a minimum late in the game. That helped us for sure. We hit a lot more shots. We were a lot more efficient, I would say, in the second half rather than the first half. We played with confidence for sure. And then, like you said, our staple with defense, we took that to heart. I thought we won every matchup across the board, and that's what helped us get the W.
And there's different ways that this team can score. And we saw it with Darius Bean getting the game-winning shot. That could have been you, but you guys can intertwine, and we see both you guys can make those types of shots. And Darius came up huge at the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Big-time shot from D. I salute him for that one. Even though he had a rough game, he stepped up and hit it. He knocked it down. That's what it's all about. We needed him to do it, and he did it. So,
listen, I want to know more about you, okay? Enough about the team. I want to know more about you. That's why we brought you on the NIU Basketball Weekly this week. Majoring in kinesiology. You guys are back in school starting this week. How's school gone? Because not only are you dealing with basketball as a student-athlete, but the whole COVID situation's has been real. How is the scholastics been?
Yeah, it's rough. I'm definitely I've been reading all my syllabus and stuff like that. It's going to be a rocky semester for me, taking a lot of classes, but I should be okay. Class is all a part of it. Managing class and basketball, it's definitely a lot tougher with the COVID stuff, like you said, with it all being online and stuff, but it should be a good semester.
How do you get away from basketball? I mean, you got your work, you've got your school, and you've got basketball. How do you let your mind just be free, maybe on a night, and when you just say, I want to get away? What is something you try to do, or a couple things you try to do to just get your mind clear and just keep it, as steady as you can?
Normally, I just try to relax. I watch a couple movies here and there. I'll watch Netflix, or I'm a guy, so I'll casually, I'll just play the game, stuff like that. So I'll get on 2K here and there. So,
are you good? See, I'm not a big video game guy. I mean, I've got the kids. We play Mario Brothers, right? We're not playing the 2K like you guys are. But are you good? Is there a rivalry amongst the team or others that they're pretty good at 2K?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of guys on the team that are good at 2K. KT is one of them. We go back and forth a lot with the wins and the losses and stuff like that. But we definitely we keep track of our record and stuff. It's pretty competitive.
A little trash talking as well.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
I want to talk about your cousin Nick. Second season now as a graduate assistant with the men's basketball program, and he's pursuing his master's degree in digital marketing. How nice is it to have a cousin, someone knows you well, to be around the program, and you can bounce things off of him around just everything you're dealing with?
I think it's really cool. It's a unique opportunity. Not everybody gets the opportunity to have somebody, family member really close to them on the staff. And bouncing ideas off of him is really good. I think it's good for me. It's good for the coaching staff. Not like we all communicate with each other, but it's a direct route, normally when me and him talk, so that way I can talk to the team, and then we have an idea of what the coaches are thinking, and stuff like that. So I think it helps a lot with the team, and as of recently, we have been communicating more. I think that's helped the team a little bit more. So,
is he good at basketball at all? Can you go one-on-one, or do you win all the time?
Oh yeah, for sure. No. He's good.
He's good
at basketball for sure. He used to play. He actually used to play here a little bit. He was like a practice player here and there.
Yeah.
But he hung the shoes up a while ago. He just wanted to get his career started. So,
looking at the upcoming schedule for this week, you're at Ball State on Saturday, and then on Tuesday you host Ohio. Every game in the MAC is going to be tough. We know that, but you guys do have some confidence. You getting that win versus Akron. What is the key to some of the upcoming games this week for you and your squad?
Well, I think we got to stay consistent with our offense, keep the ball moving, get guys touches. I thought we had a lot of double-figure scores in the last game. That was good for us. If we can keep consistent with that, that'll be good for us. And then defensively, obviously, is our staple. So we want to keep guys from hitting their averages, like I said before. And, just protecting the paint, stuff like that, stopping them in transition. And hopefully, we can keep coming out with wins. Hopefully get a winning streak going.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and I'm thinking about highlights. Every time I think of you, Trendon, and again, I get to do radio and TV and see you a lot, but I go back to that Buffalo win. And that pass to Noah McCarty for the lay-in, for the win, to me, that puts you on the board and just made people say, okay, Trendon's going to be here for a long time, and he's going to be legit. Have you gained confidence from your freshman year to where you are now and what you can do with this program?
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. I think everything's a process, and every time you guys bring it up, it takes me back for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not anything that's small. That's a big-time moment being on ESPN and stuff like that, and Buffalo was ranked. So, but it definitely gave me confidence going forward. And then, Monty telling me that he needed me to step up and stuff like that. And then it's unfortunate the situation that happened, but Chap comes in and he still tells me that, you got to step up more now that Monty's gone. So, it's just the confidence and then the guys around me giving me the confidence. So I think it's been really good for me and it's been really good for the team. So.
Yeah, it was really cool to see you guys celebrate with Coach Chapman on Tuesday night. Let him get his first win and get a win for you guys. It was huge taking on Akron. Good luck in the upcoming schedule, and I can't wait to see what happens with you guys moving forward in the season.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
From men's and women's basketball to volleyball, the season is just around the corner. We're now joined by the Huskies head volleyball coach, Ray Gooden, starting his 19th season. Coach, great to have you on NIU Basketball Weekly, and I cannot tell you, I've been waiting and waiting for volleyball to get here, and I know you have been too, and it's just around the corner.
Hey, Andy, good to see you, and we agree. I mean, we've been anxiously waiting for this moment, and we still are anxiously waiting the moment, but we're excited to get closer now than before.
So preseason started. You guys started working out January 4th officially, but I know you guys have been chomping at the bit. You've been, just getting ready before that. How has everything proceeded since what has happened in the fall when you had to? We knew it would come to the spring for the season, and season starting now January 22nd. How have you gotten to this point?
Well, I think we've for sure gone through modifications, and all sorts of different things, right? Ups and downs, all the different types of emotions, but. The good news is that when we're able to do things, we were able to do it, and it was good. And I think for our group, it worked out really well because our group still had a chance to learn a lot of things together at a pace where we didn't have to worry about playing somebody else that weekend. And, and again, like we went through different stages of the fall, I think we learned a lot. And moving into the spring where we're going to play our competition schedule, I think we were able to get on board and get going a lot faster.
What do you feel are the strengths as you guys start the season for your team?
Well, I think the strength right now is the team. I think that, again, going through the moments where they're understanding more about not only their individual selves, but how they can help the team and what our team can do for each other. I think those are the biggest things. I think that, we have a little bit more experience. We have a combination of kids who not only return, but also, have come into the program. They're going to make some contributions for us. So we feel like we've got some pretty good things in place. Lord knows we've got to stay healthy, and all that kind of stuff. But I think we're doing some pretty good things so far.
I'll mention 2 or 3 names: Kennedy Wallace, Kat Bell, Grace Bellanty, for just some of the names coming back to have a lot of experience. Let's start with Kennedy Wallace and what we can expect from her this year.
Well, Kennedy's a senior. We expect her to do her best work in her senior year, like all of our Huskies have been, who've been in our program before. And with what we've seen some improvements, not only in the skill part, but just the understanding and some of the leadership things that she needs to do as a senior. So it's been positive so far. You talk about Grace. Balanceifer. I think Grace has made some significant strides going into her junior year. We're helping run the offense, being a big part of our team, and what she can do. And then also Kat Bell, going into her sophomore year, has made some significant strides. I mean, any player that comes in to play as a freshman, there's going to be growing pains, and I think that she's been able to settle herself down and understand a lot more of what she can do and what's needed from a team.
How's your team been able to react with all the COVID and the testing now, and it just adds to another layer of what you have to deal with as a student athlete and a head coach? How's your team reacted to everything that you've had to do with the COVID protocol?
I think we've been every which way. I think we're going to be the first team that's going to play out of their season. Everybody else so far has been able to play somewhat in their general neighborhood, right? And kudos to those guys. I mean, we've seen some really good things from our group, especially as the winter started, tailing off from the end of the fall with cross country, wrestling having a good start, and basketball is doing some things improving, which is great. So for us, it's just, really working to try to understand how we do it in this moment, in this season. I'm fortunate being able to have coached men, in the past, understand what it's like to go in the winter and spring with travel and dealing things when it's not as, bright outside, even though we play inside, not as warm, the grind of it. But again, we get a chance to. And so, we're not going to try to find the things that make it harder. We're going to try to find the things that help us do the best we possibly can.
And it's interesting because we've seen it in football and we've seen it in basketball. You want to make the court, the atmosphere, as much as the same as you can. And you can't do it right now with no fans, but how are you able to at least try to get close to what a normal feel of a match is for you and your team as you guys get ready?
Well, as we work in the gym, that's pretty much the same. I know that once we get to actual match time, it'll have the similar feel and look as you've seen from many other events. Again, we've also been fortunate to see some volleyball in the fall. Some other conferences play in the fall, so we could see what it looks like. We're going to try to do our best to make Victory Court a continued home court advantage for us. We miss our fans dearly, but when we go to places like Bowling Green, we have our first weekend. We'll have the same situation they will. The fans will be limited, if at all. And so it's really about the volleyball, and hopefully we can both, not only ourselves but Bowling Green, can do the things we've been working on to have a really good event.
I want to give you a chance to kind of expand on the roster. We talked about a couple of the players, but what are some of the other names that we should expect to hear from?
Well, you got some new players, like Ella Mahasevich comes in as one of our setters. Some of the other players that have been here before, Kennedy Shelley, Kelsey Tursky, and also Destiny Darrow are our bumping group. We've had Jasmine Kemp and Angie Gromos are now upperclassmen middles. Bina Skuric is redshirted last year and now we in to help out. Along with, we have some newcomers. We've got Katie Jablonski, Jody Cavanda. Those guys have come in and they help out with our pin group. We've got, there are a lot of, Sam Juarez also comes into, with experience. So maybe not all the names you've heard with a lot of experience, but I think these kids can do some pretty good things for us right now.
You mentioned the schedule. It's going to be a new look. We have back-to-back, and you start on Friday, January 22nd at Bowling Green. The next day, again at Bowling Green. Have you had to change anything as an approach as you now go back-to-back opponents each week?
Yeah, and for us in volleyball, we've been used to playing back-to-back nights against different opponents. So if we were at, let's say, Toledo one night, they were traveling to Ball State the next night. Well, now we get to focus on one team the entire time. We could get to do it in our minds a series. So we want to try to do our best to win this series. Every time we go on the road, we try to split. If we can split on the road and win at home, we're doing some pretty good things for our conference overall schedule. For us, we'll do our best right now to get a split on the road. But it'll be nice to be able to see things on one night and then be able to make the adjustments against the same team the second night.
Which excites you about this team? Again, you guys have been waiting patiently to get going, but what excites you about not just this team, but starting the season soon?
I think the start, I think the start, and again, for all the phases we've had, all the things that have gone on, I think our group is just work, as we work in our training gym, there are a lot of good things that are happening. And I think we've worked really hard on trying to make things right,
Yeah.
even though it might be uncomfortable. With our group, all the kids that I mentioned, even a kid we have coming in too, Brenna Melvin, who I forgot to mention before, a freshman. From the freshmen through the seniors, everyone's feeling like they can do some things. We'll have struggle, but I think we're also trying to understand how this helps make us better, as opposed to finding ways why it's so bad. And I think that's a sign of a team that's excited to play, that's excited to be able to show what what they're about, and also to show our fans, how great it is to be a Husky.
Listen, I didn't have a volleyball net. I had the basketball ring, but I don't have a volleyball net. I'll try to get one next time you're on. But NIU Basketball Weekly, I got that. And now we got to keep you off the golf course. You and me played a little golf over the summer. Pretty good pair. Let's be honest. We can drive. I can putt. It was fun, but it's good to see you, quote, back at work. 19th season. I can't wait. We're going to have a ton of your home games, home matches on ESPN3, ESPN Plus. I'm honored to be back doing play-by-play for that. I can't wait. It all starts on January 22nd.
It's great to see you. It's great to know that volleyball is around the corner. It's great to see all the things that are happening here in Husky Nation. We're looking excited for a really good year.
Coach, appreciate the time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Huskies head volleyball coach Ray Gooden. As we wrap things up, that was a fun first show. Talked a little bit of head coach Lisa Carlsen and Trendon Hankerson and a little volleyball with Ray Gooden. I do want to give you the upcoming schedule for the upcoming week. Again, this is the first of 7 episodes of NIU Basketball Weekly. On Saturday, we've got men's basketball at Ball State. That's noon. That's going to be on ESPN Plus there'll be LBK in the TuneIn app. I'll be on the radio on Saturdays. The Husky women's team travels to Miami. We'll be on WSQR, also ESPN Plus. On Sunday, wrestling at Central Michigan. They've had a good start to the season. That's 2 p.m. on Sunday on ESPN Plus. Tuesday night, we mentioned with Trendon Hankerson, the men's basketball team host Ohio. That's at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Wednesday, NIU women's basketball team remains on the road at Ball State. I'll be on the radio, also have TV for that on ESPN Plus. And then Friday, January 22nd, volleyball starts at Bowling Green, 5 p.m. And women's gymnastics also starts next Friday night. They're at the Tennessee Collegiate Classic. I'm so excited to have the spring sports / fall sports back. Really looking forward to it. A reminder, we've extended the Husky Howl fan cutout program, the volleyball and gymnastics. You can still order fan cutouts for the NIU basketball season as well. The cost is still $60 per sport, and your fan cutout will be in the stands every match, meet, or game. Again, even though you can't be there, we'd love to have the cutouts there. NIUHuskies.com. Everything, the purchases all benefit the NIU student athletes, NIUHuskies.com. And we want to appreciate you watching this first episode. This is on YouTube, NIU Athletics, the page, and you're going to see more of NIU Weeklies. You're going to see other things coming up. So stay tuned and subscribe to this NIU Athletics channel here on YouTube. Great first show of NIU Basketball Weekly. Special thanks to Lisa Carlsen, Trendon Hankerson, and Ray Gooden for joining me this week. Next week, we'll talk a little men's basketball, have a women's basketball player on, and another interview with the head coach of a spring sport. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Andy Garcia. Have a great week. Hopefully we'll get some victories. Go Huskies.